Are you one of those women when you show up to a Zoom appointment, whether it's one on one or maybe you're going to a workshop, maybe you have an in person event, and the thing that's going through your mind is you want to show up confident. And I've been reading a lot of stats about women in confidence. A couple of them is 61% of women say they show up appearing confident, but yet they're not feeling confident. I want to welcome you to the Style with Significance show. I am Annette Bond, personal style expert. And I am passionate about helping you, that confident woman, create and feel completely confident in a wardrobe that is aligned, defining your signature sense of style, and that you can truly show up and forget about what you're wearing. It is about having that confidence. And today, as you can see, I have my friend Sloan Reali. Did I pronounce that right? Reali?
That's
Yes.
correct.
And she owns her business called Vocal Coaching by Sloan. And I'm just going to kind of brag on you here for a minute is Sloan is an expert voice and confidence coach, helping professionals find their voice, build their confidence, and unlock their potential. So I am so excited to have you here today, Sloan.
Thank you, Annette. I always
Oh,
enjoy being with you in
I
any
know.
capacity.
So Sloan and I were actually in a coaching program together. So we got to know a lot about each other's businesses and we have fun together. And we're going to play a little bit today and talk about confidence and in kind of a few different facets, whether it's your voice. I'll be giving some tips on thinking about when you are showing up for that Zoom appointment and how do you feel confident. So, Sloan talks about your voice and feeling confident. And Sloan, I just want to share with you, I was listening to one of your videos and I just found it so kind of fascinating. Not all of us are experts in the whole voice area. And one of the things that you talked about was about women showing up, for example, maybe that speak too softly, and we all kind of know that person. Women having maybe a higher pitch voice. I always even think about, sometimes I think of myself having, do I have too big of a voice? And so there's people that come to the table and they have these different I don't even know what word I want to use, like pitches of our voice, right? And it's either really pleasing or maybe it's like, wow, that woman doesn't appear confident because her voice is so low or it's so high, and we start critiquing. We in our mind we're thinking, oh my gosh, does she know what she sounds like? Or how do I, or maybe it's me not feeling confident in my voice. So can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big topic, and it is it really, in its boiled down form, the word that you're looking for, I think, is the tonal quality, right?
There
The
you go.
actual quality of the sound that is
Yes,
leaving our body or your instrument from this place.
yes,
And it is affected by so many different things. How much or how little we're breathing. Breath is a huge piece of having a tonal quality of sound. And there are, you mentioned the word pitch. So pitch also is a tone more related to, say, in music for singers. I work with a lot of singers. So that's the ability to hear a note
okay,
and then
that probably
Mm.
wasn't the right word. I loved what you said, tonal quality. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
really what I'm talking about.
yeah.
So, I mean, do you find that women sometimes don't even like their voice?
Most often.
In
Most people that come to me do not like the sound of their voice. They hear it on a recording, they hear it on a Zoom meeting, and they're like, I can't believe that's my voice. And so there are so the first step with your voice is awareness, being aware of what your voice sounds like.
Okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
then if you're not happy with the sound, there are very simple things that you can do. Coming back to that energy piece, it's all energy. So someone who speaks down in a monotone like this, there's not a lot of energy going on there. And then you can have somebody who's way up here all the time with all this energy and enthusiasm
Yeah.
who they need to maybe tone that down depending on who they're speaking to or for what environment that they're in.
Okay. Okay. Um, so, when we were kind of talking about, let's go back to that energy piece. Is and I'm gonna say this. So I love giving this scenario because I earlier when we were chatting and I said, let's just say you're gonna show up and there's a group. I was part of a big group the other day it was a Zoom, it was a workshop and it was all women and you want to be seen. I believe women, there's no doubt they want to be seen and they want to be heard. Or so we're taking that scenario of it's a Zoom meeting, but also it could be in person. What could a confident woman, I say they're a confident woman because I think confidence, like you said, it's such a big subject and there's so many facets of it. But we want to feel more confident in being heard. And part of that is with our voice. What could an amazing businesswoman do in the morning to get ready to be heard and go to that meeting and truly forget about her voice, knowing that she has been intentional and she is prepared?
I love this. And we work with so many of, our clients, our ideal, clients that we work with there's so much overlap there. And absolutely, you know, ladies, whether you believe that you're confident or not, if you are watching this, you are likely a business owner, you are running a company, or you're managing people.
Yeah.
So, so much of this goes back to our head and the psychology of our belief behind who we are and how we show up. But some simple things that
I
you can,
love that. You know what? Can I pause for a minute? I just got
yes,
to
please.
pause for a minute. So it actually begins there. It begins of how we're thinking about ourselves. So it literally becomes awareness of how am I thinking about myself before I even get to the meeting. So it starts with that awareness of what's in your mind. Like, oh my God, these women, they're so much better than me. My business isn't where it should be. They're more confident. I mean, what are that voice in our head, right? Okay. So being aware of what's in our head.
Beautiful, beautiful. And a nugget. Here is my nugget of the day. One
Okay.
of the things that has helped me tremendously, that has helped my clients tremendously, whether we believe it or not, or whether you're very good at doing it yet, it's really about getting out of yourself and getting into service. So if you
Mhm.
are going into that Zoom meeting and you're going to have to share, or maybe you're leading the meeting and you're like, oh man, I wish I'd had more time to prepare and get I could have done better at this. Let go of all of that, ladies. You
Yeah.
are the one running the meeting. You are the business owner. You are the leader. You are the expert in your field.
Yes.
When you let go of all of that self-doubt and I could have done it better, I wish I had more time, it's all about you. And when you
Yes.
flip that switch over and just get into service,
Yes.
I'm going into this meeting to be of service to my team, the people that I'm leading. I'm going into service on this Zoom meeting. I'm just going to show up and be of service. we can't be in ourself and at service at the same time. One will, and it comes back to fear and faith. We can't be in fear and faith at the same time. One will cancel the other out.
Do you know what? I love that you just said that. And I'm going to go back to, I know we're kind of taking a few different trails
I
here, but
know.
I know one of the number one fears is public speaking. So here we are, we're talking about our voice, we're talking about speaking. And I learned that a long time ago is that when you can focus on your audience and be of service, and you have, because when you are so fearful of speaking, you have too much writing on yourself. You are thinking way too much about yourself. So that's tip number one. I love that. That's awesome. I love that. Okay.
And I
Tip
had
number,
to address that before I
yes,
get to some practical application,
yes,
because
yes,
that takes so much off of your shoulders
yes,
before you're going into that meeting.
yes.
I'm a big believer. I think that some sort of a regular daily practice is super helpful, whether it is, breathing or meditating for 5 minutes in the morning,
Mhm.
before you head out the door, while you're getting ready, just getting quiet and really tapping into your breath, how you're breathing, along with visualization for, how, but visualization of that meeting or that event or wherever you're headed to go show up and be seen and be heard, but
Okay.
also trying not to be too attached to the outcome, right? If you're so rigid in, okay, I'm going to do my breath work and I see me, I'm going to get up, I'm going to hit it out the ballpark, I'm going to close that big sale. If you're too committed to that outcome, you might miss something even better that was supposed to happen. So going into it, breath, relaxed, visualizing, but being open to other possibilities that you
Mhm.
might not have considered.
Do you know, I find it, I know I want you to give us, you're going to give us a little teaching moment about breath. But before I say that, when you were just talking about, I believe the people that we enjoy hearing the most and listening to and identifying with, you can we can feel it in the voice. There's an energy in that voice that they're trying so hard, like, I got to get through this and I got to get him to buy this, or I got to get him to see how how I think, versus just letting your voice relax and coming from the heart and just settling down. And we can feel that, right? In the voice.
Oh, absolutely. And it may not be conscious, but
Yeah.
unconsciously we're picking up on that. And
Yes.
that,
Yes.
that can come across as, and we might not be able to put a word to it as a listener or the receiver of that message, but it comes
Yes.
across as, scarcity or,
Yes.
uh,
Yes. Yes.
desperate. And so
Yes.
there are definitely things to do that I can give you some couple of just real quick, simple exercises to get yourself centered and get
Yes.
yourself
Let's do that. Let's do that. Yay.
beautiful, beautiful. So the first thing, your breath is really what is driving any sound that comes out of this area in our body is all driven by breath.
Right.
And it's not enough just to be breathing, but you want to be breathing correctly. So, an exercise we can do right here, ladies, whether you're with us in person or replay or wherever you are, I have a little prop here. It says breathe. And you can take anything. You just take your hand, but I want you to find in your body, whether you're standing or you're probably sitting. If you're driving in your car, well, probably not watching this while driving a car, but anyway, you're going to take some sort of pressure and you're going to just gently rest on your abdominal muscle right
Okay.
underneath your rib cage, but above your belly button. And what I want you to do is on your inhales, what does not help you relax is breathing short, shallow breaths, creating tension up in our neck and shoulders. That is only going to make matters worse. So you really want to keep the shoulders relaxed, the chest is relaxed, and you want to draw that breath down through your nose or mouth and move your hands forward as you inhale breath down into your solar plexus. And on the exhale, your hands should move towards your spine as you contract that breathing muscle. And just through a couple more of those, take a breath all the way down, moving your hands forward on the inhale, and then relax and exhale. The hands should move towards the spine as you contract that muscle. And one more, just like that. Breath in. And as you exhale, sink a little deeper into your seat. Feel the chair supporting your weight and relax.
So, what does this do for us? It just relaxes us.
Oh, it does so many things. It slows down your nervous system. It
Okay.
slows down your cardiovascular, all of the that parasympathetic nerve, all kinds of systems in our body. It gets you focused. Again, it's connecting mental brain to what's happening in your physical body. So you're
Mhm.
out of your head. You're not thinking about the talk that you're going to go give or the meeting that you're going to go lead, right? It's a great, simple way. And there's a million different exercise for breath work. That's just a super simple one. But 10 breaths, slow down, intentional, mindful breaths just to get in your body, relaxing a little deeper with each exhale. You do that 10 times, even if you're leaving your house to go to the meeting or the event, focused on that breath. It's an instant way to change your whole energy in the body.
So that's interesting to me. I think I could talk about this for hours. It's kind of, there's a curiosity of what is it that it's doing inside your body? I mean, we're getting out of our head into our body. Is it because that's where our energy is? What is that?
Well, the breath, that focused, slowed down breath,
Yeah.
is literally slowing down the physical energy in your body.
Oh,
The energy that, our aura, that energy that is right outside of our body that emanates. So,
okay.
you mentioned being in a room with people that we enjoy being around, right?
Yes.
We gravitate towards one another. We've done that. That's where we met at the first event we met.
Yes. Yes.
We gravitated, we found each other in that room. Now, of course, there were ladies, in the room that I wasn't really, so we either attract to each other or, for lack of a better word, we repel.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
so you can feel that energy and it comes across in the voice. So another real simple exercise, we talked about the elements, earth, air, fire, water, metal. So bringing it back to your tonal sound of your
Okay.
voice, the
Okay.
quality of your sound. Earth is a very grounded, calm, someone who has a lot of earth. I'm using earth right now in my voice, has authority, is an expert in whatever they teach or share or whatever your profession is. Now,
Okay.
the opposite of earth would be way up here, like you little old ladies up in their head voice, isn't it? Or real kind of quiet and holding back up here in the voice. I'm not really confident, right? So that's the exact extreme
Yes.
opposite
Yes.
of
Yes.
earth and
Yes.
authority.
So, how does one add that to? How do you get more of that?
Yes, absolutely. So we are all a combination of all of these elements,
So
and
I'm
we
just
will
gonna
use.
pause for a minute. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
pause for a minute. So she is referring to, and this was really interesting when I first heard Sloan talking about the five elements. And we're not going to go there because I think that's a big long workshop. But
Huge.
what Sloan and I do have in common is I am a fashion feng shui facilitator, and I understand these elements because they have their own personality, if you will, of what they can add to your wardrobe and obviously to your voice. So I don't want to confuse our women right now. So let's just talk about the earth. And that's talking about the expertise, the authority. And if you feel like you want to come to the meeting with more of that, what would you do with your voice?
It's beautiful. Great question, Annette. So the first thing would be find that breath. All
Okay.
right. get in touch with that breath. The way to access more earth in your voice
Okay.
is a grounded, it's going to be lower in your body, right? So something we can do right now together, we're going to vibrate energy, we're going to vibrate sound in your body, but what we're going to do is drop down into the lowest part of your body you can possibly go. So I'm going to start with my breath first. I'll demonstrate. We're going to draw that breath. My hands are back on my solar plexus muscle. My shoulders are relaxed. Keep your shoulders
Okay.
relaxed. You're going to breathe through nose or mouth past the lungs, moving your hands forward on your inhale from your belly. And on your exhale, we're just going to hum sound in the lowest part of your body, something like this. Let's try that together. So don't worry about the note or the sound or any of that. All you're doing is just, how low can you go, ladies? Let's try that
Okay.
again together.
Okay,
Big
go.
breath. On the exhale, you're going to release that air with a low hum. Yes, very nice. And so when you're thinking Earth, exactly that, thinking the planet, visualizing, I like the exercise, roots growing out of your feet and your seat, deep down into the planet, rooting to the planet, right? To the center of the Earth, really centered, really grounded, knowing you're fully supported, right? Think in terms of voices, James Earl Jones, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
that low, and all
Yes.
the,
Yes.
his
Yes. Yes.
character, right? That's what we're talking about. Well, he's a great example of what we call earth, but it
Okay.
also naturally establishes authority, you being an expert in your field. It calms the rest of the room. So if there's a lot of other energy going on in your meeting or your presentation, and it's like, you gotta reel that in. A great way to do that is drop into your earth voice.
So I have to ask you this. Is it like, for example, right now I'm standing and I just many times I do this and I'm standing. When you're doing the breathing, because when I was doing that breathing, I'm kind of like, I've got my feet firm on the ground. Is that a good thing to do? Yes. Okay. When you're
Keep
standing
firm.
versus when you're sitting. Okay.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, great question.
I heard this years ago that you will project better and have more confidence if you stand. Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we talked about number one was your thoughts in your head. How am I going to show up to that meeting? Number one. Then you talked about, I have to tell you, I thought this was super cool. This is a little coaster I had
Oh,
to that I have next to my when I'm on Zoom, be beautiful. And so I was holding this. And so that's when we do our breath. And then we get down into, so I don't have the breathe, but beautiful, which is perfect for me. I was given that as a gift. And then we do our kind of, if you will, the humming that gets down low. And how many times, and I want to just, I'm going to kind of tag on a couple tips. So that's about being heard, if you will. But when we're being heard, we are being seen. And so it's always such an interesting on how all that just, it's also nonverbal, right? Um, Instead of getting up in the morning and how many times, hey, I am guilty. We're all guilty of, I got a meeting. I'm just going to run on Zoom. Let me get ready, throw on my clothes. I run on Zoom. And you know what? Sometimes you just kind of feel off. And I love when I give myself the time to be intentional and prepare. So I am so excited to use these tips. I really am. I'm so excited. Um, and so I just want to give another couple tips about, we talked about being heard, but bringing that in with a few of what are you going to wear is going back to what you said about the mindset, I like to think about, how do I want to show up today? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel today? Number two, how do I want others to perceive me? So, I'm just going to show here, like today, I have on my lace and my femininity,
Beautiful.
and I have, some animal print in the background, or maybe it's a date. Well, like what you have on, maybe it's a jacket. Maybe I want to be showing up as a little bit more, um, expertise, more professional, and it might be that jacket feel. You could also use the psychology of color. And so that you get on Zoom or you walk into a room and you are not only vocal ready to be heard, but you are style ready to be seen, and you are really packaging yourself to be that person that you can be present and forget about yourself. I mean, to me, that's at the end of the day. You shouldn't be walking into a meeting and fussing with your clothes. That is like, if you are, then you need to rethink what's going on in your wardrobe. Or if you're so self-conscious of your voice and you're not using your voice to be heard. So it's giving attention to those things. And it doesn't have to be an hour. We're talking just minutes, but it's giving attention to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of time for these things. I'm a planner. I try to plan my
Yeah.
things out in advance, and with regards to style with significance. This is why I love you so much, Annette, because when I have the time, I go through my closet and I literally will put together outfits for the whole week, sometimes 2 weeks in advance, based on my meetings,
Yeah.
clients, activity, and it's I've been that way all my life. I love clothes.
Yeah. Well,
It's
cool.
like
Well,
the
that's
Barbie dolls.
we're
Remember the
attracted
Barbie
to each
dolls?
other too. So I want to thank you. This was wonderful. This was wonderful. So those of you who are listening, we would love to hear your comments. What did you enjoy the most? Tell us. We love it. And you can get in contact with Sloan. Can you just share what's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, easiest way, Vocal Coaching by Sloan. If you plug that in into your search browser, I should pop up in that first page. It doesn't matter where you live. Been busy enough and active enough that I should pop right up.
Oh,
That
no.
that'll take you to the website, all the social platforms. It's all the same. Vocal Coaching by Sloan.
That's so wonderful. So, those of you who watch me on the Style with Significance show, and I just want to leave you, if we've not connected, but to go to AnnetteBond.com and download the Get Style Confident Now guide. So it's AnnetteBond/Style Confidence. And, there's so many facets of us, of where does confidence come from. And I just find it an exciting subject matter, because there's nothing more, oh my gosh, there's nothing more wonderful than feeling confident whatever you do in life. That's just how I feel. So we will see you next time on the Style with Significance show.